of
Hmm. Ah. Wala. Sensible yung sagot ko ah. Huwag ka muna, gawin mo kaya na ano, instead of A sub N. Para yung approximate na air, para walang limit as N approaches infinity muna. So finite N, tapos ano yung expression. So, yun ang thickness is 1 over. N is equal to 1, we get 1. 1 minus is equal to 1. So 2 square. Hmm. Ito, N cube. Yun.
like ano pa naman? Sabi na. So,
Ganito, try mo kaya muna yung yung N equals 2.
wala si
Wag ka muna limit. So, kailangan lang kasi ay mahanap mo yung pattern ng, makita mo
mag,
yung pattern eh. Teka, that's not inscribed.
ay, hindi, ito pala mo. Ayan. Ah, masyadong mababa pala. Ito na pala po, pag ano,
Oo nga.
inscribe.
Pero gawin mo na two terms para makita mo na nagsi-zero yung second term. Pang check yun eh. So two inscribed rectangles, one of the rectangles will be 0.
Huh?
So paano i-represent yun?
So,
So
dito,
ano yung mga x's? x1 is and x2 is
1. 1, 2.
1, 2. Ngayon, paano mo siya i-represent in terms of n at saka I? Di ba? I equals 1, I equals 2. Kasi we're looking for how to represent it for general N.
Hmm,
Confirm
dito.
yung integral natin ay from 1 to 2.
Times 1.
Eight minus 8/3. Four x minus x^3. 4 times 2 is 8 minus 8/3 is 4 minus 1/3. So expected answer is is
So, delta x is, ano ba siya? Sino siya, no? Mhm.
ano to, importante itong skill na to kasi pag
From 2 to
nag-path, pag, ano yan?
1. Yan po.
Okay,
Yan.
2 minus 1 over n. So, endpoints. So, yung pattern dyan yung endpoints, 2 and 1. 2 minus 1 divided by n. Diba? So, that's delta x. Ano naman yung, yung points, x1 at x1 up to xn. Ano yung pattern? Six. Nag-agree. So delta x is 1 over n. Ngayon,
Then
yung
yung,
magsisimula ka, di ba, yung first value happens at x equals 1 plus 1 over n. Tinan mo yung ano. So, nasaan yun? Hindi pwedeng sa 1 kasi kapag in-evaluate mo sa 1, ang makukuha mo, pang circumscribed rectangles. Ang kailangan natin, inscribed rectangles eh. So, the first value should be 1 plus 1 over n. Tapos yung last value should be 1 plus n over n. And tingnan mo, sa case na n equals 2, yung values ay 1 plus 1 over n is 1 plus 1 half. So xi is ano yung expression?
mhm. Ano siya na? Mm, Hindi ko po siya parang ano lang. Some, hmm, I think hindi mo po fxi yung hanapin dapat.
Hindi, kailangan mo yung x. Kailangan, pero bago mo gawin yun, kailangan mo yung xi.
Hindi mo po xi parang ano lang, x, kumbaga.
O sige, ano yung xi?
Hmm,
In terms of I and n. So when I equals 1, you should get 1. When I equals 2, you should get 2. For n equals 2. Ano yan eh? Gawin mo na ano, so start at x equals at 1. So yung first value is 1 plus.
ah! Okay, 1 plus I pala. Tama. Kasi akala ko po, I thought it's obvious na it was just I.
Hindi pwedeng 1 plus I. Kasi when I is equal to 1, 2 na yan. When I is equal to 2, magiging 3. Lagpas.
So when I
Ganito. You're moving from 1 by steps of
by steps of, so, and yung, let's say po, 5 divisions. Let's say ano kaya, 5 divisions to. Okay,
mm,
4 na lang, para sandali. Ayan, 4 na divisions. So, 1 is, ano ba to? 2 to na. So, 1 po na. So, 1/4. Tapos yung 2/4. Okay. So, kung n divisions, 1/n. 1/n. Okay, 1/n. Mhm.
1 over n, that's x1.
1 over. So, if n is 1, okay, tama.
Hindi, n is, remember, yung index natin ay para sa sum.
Ayan, so n, ano ba to?
So dapat may I pa yan.
Yan. Yabo.
Okay, and then, okay, ngayon check mo. Does it give you the I there should run from 1 to n. So I,
Mhm.
ayun, tagam mo ng restriction, I equals 1 dot 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 to n. Kasi yan yung ano eh, parameterization natin for the sum eh. So when for the case n equals 2, do we get the expected result? So when I is equal, so 1 plus 1 half when I equals 1, 1 plus 2 over 2 when I is equal to 2. So tama ano? Dun mo
Opo.
evaluate talaga yung function. For inscribed. Pag circumscribed rectangle, paano naman? Mamaya. Pero yun ang kailangan, magbabago yung parameterization yan eh. So, i-drawing mo yung isang inscribed rectangle dyan. Tapos, i-point out mo, nasaan yung xi?
Okay, so F mhm, x squared plus 4. Tama. Okay.
Hindi, 4 minus x squared.
Ay, 4 minus x squared. So, 4 minus this one.
So, yung a sub n, yung approximate area, a sub n is equal to sum from I equals 1 to n,
Mm.
so, yan no, 4 minus 1 minus I over n, but minus,
Tamo.
yun no, 1,
Ay, mga minus na.
okay? Yeah. Ngayon, distribute and then simplify and then take the limit as n approaches infinity. Actually, hindi mo kailangan i-full simplify eh. Kasi may form na madaling kunin yung limit niyan as n approaches infinity. So, expand mo yan, no? Yung 4 minus 1 plus 1 over n square. Yun yung first step. Tapos, simplify. Kaya, 1 plus I over n. Pwedeng lagyan mo, no, biglang nawala yung I eh. So, 4 minus 1 plus I over n.
Mhm. So,
Nasaan na yung I dependence?
yun nga po eh. Ano na ba?
But one,
Ayun.
tingnan mo yung f of x of I mo. Balik ka sa f of x of I. Nasaan yung I? Yan.
Tapos may limit. So, ano ba to?
Hindi, wag mo muna i-limit. Simplify mo muna yung a sub n as much as
Nga ba?
possible until you get to a form na madali nang kunin yung limit.
Mhm. Wait, di ba po there must be a way to simplify this na lang? Aha. Mhm.
Try ko yung ano, kung may ibang, kung if there's a more clever way of doing this. Yes. Pero yung mga formula kasi natin, yung sum over I, sum of I square, sum of a constant, yun yung mga alam natin eh, di ba?
Mm.
So, and, ganun pa rin eh. 15,
Ah, meron mo pong formula for evaluating the summation kung may, tawag doon? Yung fraction?
yung over, remember, yung n is a constant na walang I dependence. Ang summation natin over I. So you just treat n as a constant. Babalik tayo sa ano eh, gagamitin natin yung table ng sums of theorem 4.4.7.
Okay, so, expand ko po to. Ano ba? So, expand ko po to.
Up to you. Ako,
Ano,
in-expand ko. Pero
there could be a more, ano po dito, more better way of solving it. Okay? Mhm. Tapos yan all over na lang. Yun po. combine ko
Oh,
na lang into one big fraction.
pwedeng gano'n. O, mas mahirap gawin yan as a single fraction eh. Ay, mas mahirap, ang mangyayari kasi niyan, eventually, kukuha ka ng limit as n approaches infinity. Ano ba yung form na madaling kunan ng limit as n approaches infinity?
Hala, kukunin pala po ng limit na. Hala, okay.
So, yun yung, ang goal mo dyan ay something na madaling kunan ng limit as n approaches infinity.
Kasi kahit na baka madali po sa exam, pero mas mahirap yan ang tawag ng i-limit. So, nabayaran dito. Mhm. Formula. The formula for ano, over. Mhm.
Hindi, ganito. Remember, n is just a constant. So, if n is 5, tinuan mo mangyayari sa sum. So, it's 3. Weird. Ah, minus 1. Ganun pa rin eh. So, yan talaga siya. Ganito. So, makukuha mo 3 over n minus. So, sige, sulat mo. 3 over n
Okay, so 3 over n.
minus. So, wag mo munang iyan. So, wag mo nang combine to single fraction. Minus 2i over n square minus I squared over n cube. Ngayon, split mo yung sum into three sums. So, yung first sum ay sum from I equals 1 to n of 3 over n minus sum from I equals 1 to n of 2i over n square and so on. So, biyakin mo yung sum niya into three sums. Tapos, lahat ng pwede mong ilabas sa sum, sa bawat sum, ilabas mo. Kasi tingin ko yung confusion na galing dahil nandyan yung n, nandyan yung I, at yung mga constants. So equals sum of 3 over n. I
Okay, so
equals 1 to
separate ko na
n.
lang po. Separate ko na lang.
Hmm.
Lupang.
And then minus of I square over n cube. Ngayon, ano yung mga pwedeng ilabas dun sa mga sum na yan? So everything na constant factors na walang dependence on I, pwedeng ilabas. So for example, yung n is not dependent on I, on the summation index. So pwede mong ilabas yon. So, for example, yung second term, I can write that down as 2 over n minus 2 over n squared sum from I equals 1 to n of I.
Mhm.
So, yung first term is 3 over n sum from I equals 1 to
Opo.
n of 1.
Of
And then
1.
yung second term, 3 over n,
Okay.
hindi, ilabas mo yung 3 over n sa summation. So, 3 over
Ah,
n sum
okay.
from I equals 1 to n of 1.
Oh, okay. Mhm. So, ano pala po na?
Hindi mo pwedeng ilabas yung I kasi parameter siya sa loob ng
Ano po na, tawag do'n, constant lang pala yung n, okay. So, do'n po ako nalilito actually. So, if there's a constant pala, so I can remove it.
mm.
Ayun.
And then, okay, ngayon, nasa form na
Ah,
siya na pwede mo na gamitin yung theorem. So, sum of 1 from I equals 1 to n is just n. Yung sum from I equals 1 to n of I, so refer to the theorem.
over 6.
Okay, ngayon, so yan na yung sum, di ba? Kailangan mo siyang isulat in a form na madaling kunan ng limit as n approaches infinity. So, yung first term, tinan mo, 3 times n over n, that's just 3. Hindi, ito, next line. So, huwag mong gawin yung, ano, yung cancellation or gumamit ka ng ibang kulay para sa cancellations. Tapos, pakita mo yung next line. Mhm. Ngayon, yung n square, yung isang n, i-distribute mo sa n plus 1. Yung isang n, i-distribute mo sa 2n plus 1. So, when that happens, tinan mo, this is equal to 3 minus, hindi, sulat mo, 3 equals 3 minus, open parenthesis,
Uh-huh. So, ililimit na mo?
hindi, wag muna,
Ayun.
equals, tinan mo, 3 minus minus, open parenthesis, 1 plus 1 over n. Teka, bakit minus, naging minus pa yan sa loob? 1 plus 1 over n. Okay, close parenthesis. Huwag magmadali. 1 plus 1 over n, close parenthesis. Close parenthesis. Plus, open parenthesis, 1/6, plus 1/6,
Mhm.
plus 1/6, open parenthesis,
One,
open parenthesis, hindi, 1/6 yung nasa labas
tapos
ng
tapos
parenthesis. And then
parenthesis.
open parenthesis, n plus 1, 1 plus 1 over n, close parenthesis, 2 plus 1, open parenthesis, 2 plus 1 over n. Okay, clear ba paano nangyari yan?
Abo.
So, yung isang n, inabsorb ng n plus 1. Yung isang n, inabsorb naman ng 2n plus 1 to get that. Pansin mo, yung mga panay nasa denominate, panay ano siya eh. Kasi pag ganyan, in the limit as n approaches infinity, tinan mo behavior ng 1 over n. Di ba? That goes to 0. So, ano yung limit as n approaches infinity? So, if a sub n is that, limit as n approaches infinity of a sub n equals,
Mhm.
yan. So, a sub n yan. And next line, limit as n approaches infinity of a sub n is, how can I read it? Make, ano yan eh. Pakita mo yung simplifications para clear sa leader. Hindi, wag mo nang yan yan. That's your final result for a sub n.
Yun mo. Mhm. Mhm. Tapos ano naging ano to?
So,
Ah,
so pakita mo ngayon. So, next line, new equation, limit as a sub of a sub n as n approaches infinity equals, and then show the limiting process. And teka, left hand side, that's a sub n, di ba?
po.
So, limit as a sub n
Eh,
is equal to, and then limit as n approaches infinity of that term. So, copy mo lang, tapos, yan. Iurong mo to the left kasi ang daming space na nasasayang sa left hand side.
inayang mo.
Yan. Ngayon, at saka ano yun eh, for equation numbering, para may space between your equation and the number. Okay, next line, equals, what does that reduce to?
Mhm. Ay, wala. So, ano daw yung ano dito? Naging 3 minus 1 plus, okay, naging 0 yan. Mhm. So, actually, nung naging 1 over n, naging 0 na lang po sila. Okay. How cool.
So 1 plus 0,
So, naging 0 na lang po
2
lahat, no?
plus 0. Hmm.
Imbis na, imbis na,
Kaya,
imbis na gagawin po tong limit na to.
oo. Ano yun eh, kailangan i-prepare kasi yan para ma-evaluate yung limit eh. So if you know where you're going, hindi ka magsisimplify ng basta-basta dun sa a sub n. Okay, so that's equal to, so 3 minus 1 plus 2, 6, 2 over 6, which is, kaya plus ba? Parang may nalaglag na sign. Paki-check yung signs.
Mhm.
Akyat pa.
Mhm.
Yung second to the last line, yung after nung, mo, yung after nung
Dito.
sinimplify mo, nung nag-cancel yan, biglang naging plus.
May hunting mo, kailangan ng hunting. So, hanap to. So, naging 1. Ito pala, dapat i-cancel.
Okay, so that simplifies to,
2 minus 1/3. Okay, so 1, 2/3. Mhm.
or
5/3.
so what, 5/3. Ngayon, i-set up mo yung definite ano yung integral, in integral form, ano yan? That's integral of, para lang i-check. Dito kasi, nung ginagawa yung exercise ito, yung assumption, yung student di pa marunong mag-integrate. Pero since marunong kang kumuha ng integral, ano bang integral ba yung area na yan? So area is equal to, balik ka dun sa taas para makita mo yung graph. So what's that area as an integral? So A infinity equals, for A, is equal to integral from 1 to 2 of,
1 to 2 of what? Itong ano na, tawag doon? Ah, ano ba? 4 minus x squared. Ayun lang.
dx. Okay,
Mm,
ngayon paki-integrate yan.
8 minus 8/3. 4 minus 1/3.
Okay, and that becomes,
4 minus 9/3. What? Wait. May ano po dito, may something to see. Mhm. Huh. Okay, tama. So, ano ba? 4 minus 7/3, which is 5/3. Okay.
so nag-agree, di ba?
Ano po?
Okay, ngayon, yung ginawa natin dito for 4.4 point, um, for comparison, gawin mo yung ano, yung previous number from scratch. Itong 4.4.21. So, kasi di ba ako yung gumawa nun. That was already a week ago. So, malamang, hindi mo naman tinatandaan dapat yun eh. Gusto kong makita na gawin mo siya, tapos from scratch. So, without looking at your notes, do 4.4.21.
Ano po? So, ano pala to na parang ano, hindi ko alam. Why? Why would someone do this? Ito ba siguro, ito,
That's what people did before calculus.
okay. So, before calculus po, so tutusin, the integral, so before calculus, ano, di ba po calculus na yung limit? Pero basta
Hindi,
yung,
pero yung idea kasi na palitin mo ng palitin yung divisions is older than calculus itself.
wow.
Archimedes yan eh, di ba?
So, ito pa yung calculus version. Ito yung non-calculus version. Wow, okay.
Oo.
So, talagang it helped a lot. So, ano ba yung ano dito? So, basta, hindi. X squared. X equals
Tapos
2.
from hindi, graph mo na sa Desmos, tapos copy and paste.
X. What? So, ito mo? Ito mo malit? Okay, sige.
Ah,
Check ko po sa Desmos.
para lang makita.
Oh, wow. It is that region. Mhm.
Yan. Tapos pakita mo paano mo siya isusulat in that using circumscribed rectangles. May slight difference yan eh. Kasi gusto natin yung rectangles nasa loob ng region. So, inscribed rectangles method siya.
Wala po. So, I will just make this. Posible kayang lines? Hindi. Okay. They should make it possible to fill a region na using lines. Uh, based, based. Oh, it sucks. Anyway,
Okay, highlighter ko lang yan using
sige po. Uh-huh. And then, upwards. Ayun. Perfect. Okay. Except ito, I did not see. Yun. Okay, so, yung parang ano dyan, ano ba yung mga slope?
so ano yung xi, ano yung interval.
Mga ganyan.
Ah,
Okay. So,
so ano yung x1 mo, ano yung dapat na x1 is always
X1 should be 0.
okay,
Something's
and
wrong.
then how do we get the others?
Kaya pala. So, it's too large. Yan. Ito yung tama size. Mhm. Is 0. So, that's it. I over N lagi mo. Alas na otherwise. Said otherwise.
Hindi siya I over n always. 'Di ba? Depende kung ano yung endpoints. Kanina nagsimula tayo sa 1 to 2. Ano naging itsura ng xi natin?
Mhm.
Okay, ngayon, tingnan mo yung expression na yan. Does that reduce to x1 equals 0?
Okay. So, yun pala. So, 1 over n. Okay. Ay, wala
So,
dito.
yung ano niyan, 0 plus, okay, ngayon, hindi pwedeng I yan kasi dapat nagsa-start tayo sa 0, tapos matapos tayo,
Ay, minus 1. Ayun.
so I minus 1.
Pinako.
Tapos I runs from,
I ran from 0 to n. Wait.
hindi, 1 to
No.
n.
1 to n. Amo.
At saka, kaya ngayon, bakit 1 to n? Kasi we're expecting na gagamitin natin yung theorem sa dulo. So, gusto natin yung indexing na 1 to n. Kasi pwede naman actually na mag-index tayo from 0 to n minus 1. But it's not the most convenient choice kasi gagamitin natin yung formulas for sum of I at saka I square at I cube. Eh, lahat sila starting at 1, ending at n. Okay, so yan yung xi. Ano yung f of xi? At saka ano yung a sub n?
Okay, and then yung f, x, I. Ano ba? Delta x kaya muna. Delta x. Delta x is... Mhm.
So yung delta x is, yung total interval is 2 to
0.
0 to 2. So that's going to be
2 to 0. 2 over n.
2 over n. Ngayon, tingnan mo ulit yung xi. When n is equal to, tingnan mo, when pagka n is pag I is equal to n, that reduces to, so xn is n minus 1 over n.
Omo. Tama.
Ngayon, in the limit as n approaches infinity, ano yan?
Mm, okay. So, naging infinity yan. May naman yung task.
So that's going to be, pagka in-split mo yung fraction, magiging 1 minus 1 over n, di ba?
Equals 1.
Tama ba na yung dulo dapat ng xn is 1? Nag integrate tayo from 0 to 2.
Oh, no! Okay. Wait lang po.
Tapos ano, tingnan mo rin yung ano, di ba yung delta x, that's the step size. So, yung I minus 1 over n is actually pang-count lang ng pang ilang, yung I minus 1 gives you ano yung pang ilang steps from x1. Kung gusto nating ma-cover yung interval, hindi, so xi is not I minus 1 over n. It's actually, ganito, tinan mo, x1,
Opo.
try mo yung case na ano, x1 is na n is equal to 2. Tingnan mo.
Okay,
So
so when it
x1 is equal to 0.
mm-hmm, x1 is equal to 0, x2 is equal to 2 minus 1 over, wait, no. 1 over, o minus 1 over, so x2, 2 minus 1, 1 over n. 1 over n, tama naman po.
So x1 is pag 2, 0 at saka 1 minus 1 minus 1 over 2. Dalawa lang yung points, di ba? X0, x1 which is 0, x2 is 1 minus 1 over n which
0.
is 0 over 2 which is 0. May problema. Parang may problema. Ano eh? 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1, okay, we get 1 divided by n, we get 1 half. Parang hanapin mo yan dyan sa ano, sa 0 to 2. Nasaan yung 1 half? Ano ba yung expected na second point natin? Okay. So, ganito, pag ang subdivisions natin, two divisions, yung x1 at saka x2 ay ano? So, copy the graph, paste it on the right, tapos pakita mo yung two divisions case. Para makita mo ano dapat yung x1 at saka x2.
Hindi po, wala po pala po ano yan. Ito lang yung x2.
Hmm. So, ano yung value ng x1? So, x1 is 0, x2 is
1.
so, ngayon, copy again. Tapos, paste. Tapos, tingnan mo, pag 3 divisions naman, it helps na gawin mo yung mga cases na ganyan eh. So, copy the original graph, paste, and then gawin mo yung 3 divisions. Separate graph.
Mm-hmm.
Hindi,
Hey,
yung
where did it go?
wala bang undo?
Wala. Okay, so it came under. Okay.
Yeah. Tapos, i-mark mo yung ano. So, x1 is going to be 1. X2 is equal to, hindi, tama, x1 and then x2 yan. X0 is, hindi, tama yan. X1 is going to be 0.
Ay, mali pa. Ba't yung gina, ano?
Yan. So, x2 is going to be 1. So, mukhang gumagana pa yan, di ba? Ngayon, try natin yung 3. Ay, sorry, nagfe-fail na yung formula kasi when I is 1, ang makukuha natin na x2 is 1 half. Right?
No bo.
So, tingnan mo, to go from x1 to x2, ano yung kailangan mong i-add?
Next one. One.
Or in terms of delta x, so 0 plus,
0 plus. Okay, so I
hindi,
is
i-label mo dyan. Ano yung delta x? I-label mo dyan. Gano'ng kalaki yun?
1.
So, tingnan mo, yung spacing ng x1 to x2 is delta x.
No bo.
x2 to 2 is also delta x. So, to get from x1 to x2, paano related yung x1, x2 at delta x?
Okay, so x1 is 0, yes. Okay, x2 is delta x ahead of it. Okay.
So, x1 plus,
X1 plus delta x. Wait mo. Sum na. So, 1 plus. So, that is 0 plus delta x times ilan? I minus 1. Mm-hmm.
okay. So, nagmamatch ba? When I is equal to 1, 0 tayo. When I is equal to 2, plus delta x, which is 1. Ngayon, tingnan natin yung case na divide natin into 3 subintervals. So, copy the graph, divide into 3 equal parts. And then, check natin. So, yung original na graph, yung nasa left side, yun yung copyhin mo. Kasi walang markings yun eh. Tapos, subdivide into 3 subintervals. So, gusto natin tingnan yung n equals 3 na case. Just to make sure that it actually works.
Okay, so kung ano naman, so 1, well, 4 po na divisions. Yung,
Hindi, 3 divisions.
pero mahirap po i-divide into 3. So, by the po 4.
And kahit na approximate lang, gawin mo lang na, kasi ano ba yung, so kung 3 divisions, hindi mo kailangan mong eksakto eh. Kailangan lang, just sketch.
Yung gano'n, no? Mhm.
Mm. Tapos i-label mo, ano-ano yung mga points, anong values yan.
2/3.
So, 2 minus 0 divided by 3, diba? So, 2/3. Yan yung spacing. Tapos, paano related yung x1 sa x2? So, express x2 in terms of x1. Anong mangyayari? Kasi gusto natin i-check. Does it work? Or does the expression xi equals delta x times I minus 1 work for this case?
Mm-hmm.
So x1 is equal, so x1 is 0, x2 is equal to 0 plus 2 third, x3 is equal to,
Yun nga po. So, x2 is equal to dito. X2 is equal to ano ba? 0 plus delta x2
delta
thirds
x.
minus 1. Okay, tama. And then,
Mm-hmm. x3,
2, wow, 2 4 thirds.
mm-hmm.
Yes, pareho. Tama naman po.
Okay. So, at least yung setup natin for this case, 0 plus delta x times I minus 1. Diba? That works. Pagka, ang, kaya ganyan yung setup kasi circumscribed inscribed yung rectangles, tapos increasing yung function. Kasi tingnan mo yung ginawa, yung previous na ginawa natin. Inscribe yung rectangles pero decreasing. Iba yung parameterization natin for x. So start dun sa isa, tingnan mo, akit ka dun sa, tapos tingnan mo yung itsura ng xi. Yung xi is starting point, which is 1 plus I over n. The
Opo.
reason for that is yung dahil although pareho sa inscribed, hindi pareho ng yung evaluation kasi yung isa, yung left side ng bawat interval yung ginagamit. Dito yung right side or yung right end ng isa ng bawat interval. Sorry, left side ng interval. Yung isa right side. Okay, so ngayon meron ka ng you know xi, alam natin yung delta x, set up the integral as a sum, and then simplify. Worth it yung mga ganitong exercise kasi kailangan mong i-visualize yung ngayon at napipilitan ako mag-i-express na in terms of sums eh. Kasi there will be cases na hindi mo alam kung ano yung tamang way to express the integrity, kung ano yung tamang expression for something. Sometimes you actually start from a limiting process and then you recognize mo, but this is the integral of this. And seeing that it works also helps.
Opo. So, ngayon, ano na tawag? F. Okay. Yan.
So, f of x is x squared, di ba?
Opo. So, that's just 1 minus 1 over x squared. And then, ano ba yung kinakailangan?
Teka,
Ay,
teka. Ano yung x? F of x is
x squared.
ano yung
Eh,
xi? Di
okay.
ba if f evaluated at xi yan eh.
Ah,
Hindi f at xn.
what did I do? Anyway, so na ba yung delta x? 2 over n. Squared. You need to expand.
Mamaya na. Ngayon,
Okay.
i-substitute mo siya dun sa expression for the a sub n. A sub n is, so ano yung expression for the, so yung approximation for the integral a sub n is,
Mhm. So, yung ano na to, yung summation for over in.
Teka, n squared dapat yung denominator, di ba? Yan. So n cubed tapos I minus 1 square, which
Expand.
is, expand na.
2i 6.
Okay, and then, teka, pwedeng iulong mo yung move everything to the right kasi yung sum na yan, yung initial sum, that's a sub n. Para lang klaro sa reader na what are we calculating? We're calculating a sub n. Yan. Minus 2i. Yan muna. Sige. Okay, and then yung theorems ulit. N plus 1, 2n plus 1. Di ba dapat may over 6 yan? Yung isa, yung first term. N plus 1, yan, 6. Okay, ngayon, simplify in a way na sige, gawin mo yung absorb yung n trick. So yung first term is 1 plus,
Wait a minute. So, ano po na? Tawag doon? Okay, and
gusto natin gusto natin in a form na if we take the limit as n approaches infinity, madali.
mhm.
Kaya hindi pwede dyan kasi may 2n plus 1 ka pa, may 2n plus 1 ka pa dun eh.
Opo, so gagano ka lang.
So isang n lang yung ipa-absorb mo sa n plus 1. Di ba may n square sa denominator?
Opo,
Let
isa na
yung
lang.
isang
Okay.
n, hindi, huwag mo na yan. Ganito gawin mo. So 4/3 tapos 1 over n times n plus 1.
Okay.
Tapos yung isa, ang gawin mo 2n plus 1 over n.
Okay, so paisa-isa po sila. Okay. Tapos nito minus. Mm,
So something similar. So n plus 1 over n becomes,
squared po siya. Uh, no choice.
hindi siya squared. Kaya check natin.
Squared po siya. Kahit ano po, force talaga siya na 1 over n squared. Okay lang naman po. Pag
Oo.
limit, para 0 naman din.
Mm.
This 1 plus 1 over n. Limit ko na.
Teka, pag ginawa mo yung limit, sige, n approaches infinity, 1 over n plus 1 over n square. Okay, and then 1 plus 0.
1, 2, minus 0.
Okay, so that becomes 4 times 2 is 8, 8 over 3. Ngayon, check natin. That integral is the integral from 0 to x, 0 to, hindi, yung
Okay.
a na lang, wala nang n. Kasi di ba, in the limit na yan eh. So a. So area is equal to integral from 0 to 2 of x squared, no? dx.
Ayun, okay. Tama ka po. 2, 0. 2.
Then, yung bar, lagyan mo ng, di ba, evaluated from 0 to 2. Yan. So 8 over 3. So it works, di ba?
Ayun. Pero ito muna, 1 line lang. Ito parang,
Oo. Ano yan eh. Minsan kasi dadaan ka talaga sa definition eh.
no po.
Kaya importante alam mo rin yung alam mong gawin yon at saka i-recognize but this is actually just the definite integral. Minsan kasi may mga sums na bibigay sa'yo tapos may limits tapos kailangan mo this is a definite integral of something so that I don't have to go through the whole process. Okay, so far, so that's for exercise 21. Ginamit natin inscribed rectangles. Paano naman yung circumscribed rectangles? Paano yung setup? So, draw the graph. So, copy mo yung graph and then kailangan yung rectangles the bigger than the enclosed area. So, paki-set up siya.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi ang ginawa natin so far ay inscribed rectangles. Ano yan eh? Yung sa section na to, yung mga cases na consider natin inscribed, circumscribed, tapos yung midpoint rule. Now, what if ang gagamitin natin for the integral ay yung midpoint ng bawat interval? So, it's going to be a different expression. Talagang ano siya. But I think it's good practice. Yung skills na involved dito ay handling sums, taking limits, diba? Hindi yung naalala ko nung nag-math 53 ako, halos mabilis na parang isang example lang yata yung ginawa yung class tapos na-issue yata ng exams eh. I think pareho pa rin yan sa nangyayari ngayon. Hindi yan typically lumalabas sa exam.
No po.
Kaya yung mga classmates ko nung may higher physics course kami, kailangan namin yan. Hindi lang ma-set up. Okay, so this time yung circumscribed rectangles naman. So, graph using Desmos, paste there, tapos para makita mo paano yung set, para ma-drawing mo na maayos.
Hmm.
Papayin ko to.
So, so pareho lang mo sa kanina.
Same function, pero
Different
instead of using inscribed, yung
circumscribe.
rectangles natin gusto natin circumscribed,
Okay, so it's the
which
same
means
graph.
same graph.
Mm-hmm. Pinabalitan ko lang ng konti. Ulit. Para copy paste ko. Copy. Paste. New page.
Same region as 21. Tapos, set up ulit. X squared plus x equals 2.
Mhm. So ngayon, yung maiba lang po dapat dito, theoretically, ano ba yung dapat maiba dito? XI pareho pa rin.
Hindi,
Ah,
magbabago yung xi.
aha. Yung dati X pa yung pareho, yun. Tapos na yung
Delta x yung pareho.
XI, XI, ano ba yung mag-iiba sa kanya?
So 2
Mm,
minus 0/n. Tapos xi is... So, gusto, di ba dapat inscribed? Sorry, circumscribed. So, yung x1 ay, ano, kaya kailangan i-drawing mo siya eh, para ma-visualize mo. So, copy the graph, draw yung circumscribed, yung mga rectangles na nagsisircumscribe. Do the case muna na n equals 2 para makita mo siya.
so kung
Kasi
N,
kung first time mong ginagawa to, yun, kailangan mo tayo makita yan. Teka, y equals x squared. Bakit yan yung graph mo?
ah, 23 pala, baka 21.
20,
Ah,
so we're doing 22.
ayun. So, yung graph.
Ginawa
Mhm.
natin 20, yung ginawa natin ay 21 eh. So, 22,
So, kung X equals 2, that's, start mo na dito. Ah,
so starts at
yan.
0 plus Okay, ngayon, yung xi would run from I equals 1 to 2. So we need an expression for xi that matches kung anong binibigay dyan.
So, yung xi sa ano, own kanina, ano po siya na? Delta x times I minus 1.
Mhm.
So, dito, x1 is pareho. Mm,
Teka, ano yung x1 dito?
x1 here is, hindi na siya, 1 na po siya actually.
Oo, di ba? Tapos yung x2 is
X2 is 2.
2.
Hmm. So, looks like, ano ba? x1, 1, delta x. Okay. Times I. I think so. Bilang mo, kung tatlo.
Mhm.
So, 1, 2, 3.
Diba?
1/3, 2/3.
Diba? So 3
Okay,
delta
tama.
x is tama naman, no?
So,
At saka
nag-shift lang.
nagsa-start tayo sa 0 eh. So,
Hmm.
kaya ganon.
Ayun, so, ano ba? fx1, fxi. Delta x pa rin is still equal to 2 over n. Yes.
Mhm.
So, 2 and I squared. Wow, that's so simple actually. So, 4 over 4i.
Times 2 is
Tapos,
4, times 2 is 8.
4i, 8i squared and cube. Tada! So, it's so simple actually. 8 over n cube.
Tapos, ano big formula for I square, n plus 1,
2n plus 1. Abo na.
divided by 6.
Hmm,
So a sub n is
hmm.
4/3 times 1 times 1 plus
I will distribute it again. So, n plus
mm,
and then once again, limit. So, it should be the same. Kasi ano naman,
oo.
dapat interest din mo.
Okay, so magiging
Kasi thirds.
so 8/3 din. Yeah. So it works.
Mawo.
And ngayon dito, yung importante yung graph para malaman kung circumscribed or inscribed yung paano yung parameterization. Kasi kung ganun yung tanong, hindi ba napansin mo, yung isa, parehas lang inscribed, yung sa 21 at saka yung sa 23, pero yung parameterization na ginamit, slightly different. Okay, ngayon ito, bigay ako ng isang, gusto ko lang pakita yung, ano, yung 4.4.27, no? Next time na itong 4.4.28. Kasi magsi-6 na eh.
No
Pero
po.
pakita ko lang sa inyo isang example ng yung the abstract. Kaya, so ito, wala akong ibang term for this kundi yung gagamitin natin yung left version, yung left side ng bawat interval. So let's say ito yung function natin. Tapos ganito yung graph. Hindi siya purely increasing. And then yung bounds ito, A to B. So gusto natin i-divide into n subintervals. Let's say ganito. Tapos for each interval, gagamitin natin yung left side. So this is not inscribed or circumscribed. Ang ginagawa lang natin ay left side ang gagamitin natin sa bawat rectangle or right side. Here, sorry, gusto ko pa na yung left side. So, has to be this. Pansin mo, ito, left value, left value, left value ng interval, left, and then left. So, this would be x1, x2, x3, x4. Tapos, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this would be x5. So, kung gagamitin natin yung left, yung, I don't have a name for this, yung left integral, which what we'll be doing is we'll be using yung values sa left. Ngayon, kung gusto natin na values from the left, ang kailangan natin, so sorry, magsisimula pala sa A. So, ito yung magiging x1, x2, x3, x5. So, the left integral will look like this. Sum, so first, ano yung thickness? That's going to be b minus a over n. Yan yung number of intervals. Ngayon, ano yung xi? Xi is going to be, gusto natin mag-start siya sa 1. Plus, the interval is b minus a over n times I. So, if we check, lalabas yung, for the case n equals 5, lalabas yung a when I equals, yeah, gusto natin a at when I equals 0. So xi should be a plus delta x times I minus 1. So that when I equals 1, magsisimula tayo sa a. When I equals 2, magsisimula tayo, magiging x2 nandito, and x3 and so on. Kasi we're moving by steps of delta x. So using this, the left integral will look like sum a sub n approximate. So let's call this approximate. I equals 1 to n, f of x sub I, which is a plus delta x times delta x is b minus a over n. So doon na natin, ilagay na natin yan. Times b minus a over n. So yan yung ano. This is one way to write it down. Pag panay from the left and panay from the right. Yung gusto kong i-figure out mo, ito. Yung lalabas kasi na kailangan natin. What if gagamitin natin yung midpoint? So let's copy this. So yung midpoint definition. So dito, instead of using yung blue, we'll be using yung green. So ito, yung midpoint